Welcome to Konoha Crush, a clandestine effort to exhaustively research and document events occurring in and around the village hidden in the leaves. I'm Helix.
And I am Down. Hi!
Hi, oh my god, welcome back. It's another week, it's time for another fucking podcast. We're gonna talk about Naruto. But before that, the classic, the eternal question. You do anything else this week?
I've been watching
Uh-huh.
one of the not very good isekai shows that's airing currently.
Okay, alright.
Yeah, I've been watching The Great Cleric.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear to God, the show is feminizing this boy.
Okay, alright. That's good.
Like, I don't know if it's just me, but like
your senses are perhaps, if anything, overtuned to look for this thing.
right, okay, but literally as time passes and he is getting as they are getting better
At being a cleric.
At being a cleric and being a fighter and being, they're drawing him with longer hair and frankly fruitier clothes.
Okay, alright. I think that would be a bold new there should be more isekai where the protagonist is just gradually feminized without it being remarked upon until suddenly everybody starts she-herring them.
Right. It's kind of beautiful in that way.
I think we should this is like you said, your senses for this sort of thing are picking up on this, but I think somebody should really commit, really make that show.
Right.
Yeah, fuck yeah. That'd be badass. Is there anything else you want to say about it, or is it just kind of that way? Are they feminizing this guy?
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't literally think they're going to have... I don't literally think the thing is that, he is, intentionally gradually presenting more feminine, right? I think they're just trying to portray time passing with longer hair, but,
Mm-hmm. Right, because of how hair grows.
Right. But, it's getting pretty long, and, other people have short hair. It's not like he can't get it cut.
Okay. It's like a choice on some level.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that's basically all I've been up to.
Okay. Alright. Well, hey.
Stretches.
I haven't watched any anime still. I don't do that anymore, I guess. Other than stuff for podcasts. I guess I've been playing gacha games. I do that. I've been playing the new Honkai Impact chapter, which I've been enjoying. I love plural girls. I love when a girl is multiple girls and those girls are in love with each other.
Yeah,
that is pretty good. I think it's cool when a video game has that in it. That is nice to me.
Yeah, that's badass.
But I don't know. I mean, I always feel self-conscious about going too deep into that stuff, right? Because it's I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, I just always whenever I convince somebody to get into a gacha game, I feel a little bit bad about it, right? And so I don't want to be out here trying too hard to make it sound cool and talk about works for me about it or whatever, right? And then because they know if I convince somebody to play a gacha game and they spend money on it and they'll never forgive myself and they'll never forgive me, it's scary. It's scary out there.
Yeah, that is scary. I should pick up on that again.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to talk to you about it more, right? But
right, and I would love to experience the story of it more, but
it's an undertaking.
It's an undertaking.
It's 1 billion comics you gotta read right now.
Yeah, there's comics. Ugh.
You hate comics.
I mean, I don't hate comics. It's just okay, the comics that are daunting to me right now ahead of me is just something that I'm not I'm sure is important, but I'm not super interested in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of okay, well, here's 60 chapters of
I think the 60 chapter one is better than the 15 chapter one or whatever. But
right, but yeah. Okay, but you're looking at that from someone who has experienced it and knows how good it is. I'm looking at it and going I'm not sure I know who these characters are. I don't know what's going on here. And obviously that's what the comic is for. But
yeah.
But I'm I don't love these people. Why? I am not excited to see what is happening next for these individuals. And I don't know. It's just that's just kind of where I'm at with it. And it's I have to be in a certain mood to move forward from there on something sometimes.
Yeah. Gotta be hovering over your shoulder and being read it, bitch.
I mean, literally.
Yeah. Oh my god, I don't know. I feel we've exhausted this first segment. You want to talk about Naruto?
Hell yeah. Episode 164, Too Late for Help. Moso tells the kids how good and strong they are for catching Kome, who totally confessed to doing it for the obvious reasons he would do it. And that the reasons the armor was empty that time with the ooze was because the guy inside just melted himself with acid very quickly with no damage to the armor. Everyone knows something's up, but Naruto isn't happy just taking the paycheck and leaving. Neji is swayed after Naruto threatens to stomp off and do something without them. Naruto goes to check out the weird place where the stuff keeps happening and summons his froggy boys for backup. There they discover a big black painted kite the samurai probably used to scary fly. Inside the temple, they find a tunnel that leads to Sagi's place, and Shishima gets got after seeing Moso being the leader of the ninja that attacked Sagi at the lake. Naruto sees a woman bathing and gets arrested. Naruto's in straitjacket jail and gets visited by the cursed warrior.
Okay, so yeah, like, as you said in your summary, like, this episode starts off, everybody's, like, sitting around listening to Moso be like, yeah, hey, great work, you solved everything. He's giving us very suspicious explanations. He's like, yeah, Komoe did it, you know, he's, he just wanted the power or whatever. But again, the thing I want to talk about here, which is also the thing you kind of, like, single out your summary, is the thing with the guy melting himself or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure if we're supposed to think this is like an insanely suspicious lie or not, given some stuff later.
Okay, but like, okay. Can we just go there? Can we just talk about this for a sec?
Yeah, no, absolutely,
okay,
absolutely.
Because this is the interaction that Moso like planned. Like, this is the one that he did. So like, he knows how this happened, right? Like, is he just telling the truth? Did he just have one of his guys melt himself?
Right? Like, does he have to fucking kind of sway over his dudes to be like, hey, melt yourself with acid. It'll be good for all your bros. Like, is that where they're at?
Is that what they're doing here? Is that what they do? Oh my god. That's really I don't like that.
I don't like that. I'm not working for Moso. I'm not on board with this stuff. I don't want the boss to ask me to melt myself with acid.
Oh my god.
Because like, yeah, like, again, like, this is like not the like actual fucking like curse word. It's something that Moso like sent here, right? And, like, you know, presumably any, like, fucking teleportation ability would be sealed away, because Neji got him with fucking 8 Trigon 64 pulp, so I guess if he just had self-dissolving acid everywhere. Right, like, there's not, like, there has not yet been, like, an alternate explanation, like, presented, and, like, maybe in the last episode of this arc, we'll just have everybody, like, sit around and, like, explain everything, and, like, I don't know, maybe this wasn't the guy melting himself, but...
But, like... If he had a trick up his sleeve that wasn't acid, he could have just explained that trick. Like, I don't believe it wasn't acid.
Right, but yeah, right.
Oh my god.
Like, maybe it wasn't acid, but I was like, yeah, that guy totally melted himself with acid, so don't go looking for him or whatever, right? But also, maybe it was just acid. Maybe he just had one of his boys melt himself. We'll never know, or we will know in like a week. But
we'll never know, or we will.
Yeah, at this moment, it's like it's something very striking to consider. But yeah, by this point, everybody is like fully on board with like, okay, wait, this is obviously fucking suspicious as hell.
Yeah.
I feel like in this moment we start to kind of like, you know, we're moving beyond the bounds of like what specifically there is like Scooby-Doo bullshit yet to come this week and like this episode and like this part of this episode, but like we're moving a little bit beyond, you know, like bounds like what like a Scooby-Doo ass story is about when you've got the like characters being like, ah, shit, our job is done here, but like it doesn't sit right with me. I want to like investigate this further, right? Like I am like.
Right.
Like I am glad there are like more notes that are playing. Like even as like as like, you know, probably the whole thing is not literally them just doing Scooby-Doo bullshit like on purpose. Right? Like probably there are other influences, but I am glad there are like more like beats to be playing here.
Yeah.
Than like.
I'm glad it's not fucking around until the mystery comes together and they just like solve it. Right?
Yeah. No, I was very relieved to see that. Like that kind of went like as you suggested it, like or like hoped it might like last week, right?
Yeah.
And I just think that little like space of like, oh yeah, here's the character, like, yeah, our job's done, but like it doesn't sit right. We gotta like, you know, we gotta see what's going on here. And is like it's like fun, you know. It's just like a fun little tension to be pulling on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Neji and Tenten agree to like go off and investigate something together while Naruto goes off and investigates in a different way. Which like just as like a team leadership thing.
Mm-hmm.
If I was Neji, probably wouldn't have Naruto be the one acting alone.
Right.
Right. Like, I mean, I get that he's like the fucking like protagonist of the show or whatever, so like structurally you want him to be able to like go off and like do stuff on his own and like get into situations.
Well, maybe this is dipping into Neji's like Naruto pervert characterization
now.
Yeah,
maybe he's like, oh shit, like I'm just gonna let Naruto like head off and he's gonna fucking solve it because he's like perfect. He'll do it, he'll handle it.
Literally he's right though.
Yeah. But like Neji like doesn't feel like again, like Neji doesn't feel like he's like connected to that like aspect of him where he just believes in Naruto more than anything else because he's like so like neutral about getting to go do a job with Naruto or whatever. Like both times it's happened by now.
Yeah, Neji is so weird here.
Yeah,
like in the like in original like stretch, like in general, right? Like
like both in the sense of like he feels like they don't really like have an angle on like what they're like trying to do with him, and it doesn't connect like where he like is in the story now or like where he was. So he's just kind of like a guy who looks at things occasionally poorly.
Yeah.
Because they like never let him just have his like ability to like sense shit like solve as much as it should.
Right. Which makes it weird that he's going on those missions in the first place, right? Like, have a different guy there.
Right. It makes him weird that, like, he's, like, a guy who, like, had around for, like, 2, like, whole arcs now. Like, 2 whole, like, 6-episode arcs have, like, Neji in them when, like, there's, like, nothing for him to do both times. There's not, like, nothing for him to do, but, like, it's not like this isn't, like, a Neji story, right? Like, this isn't, like, a...
No.
Like, he's just set dressing, mostly. And, like, sometimes he finds a clue.
Yeah, no, like he's their like magnifying glass.
Yeah, God. I mean, Naruto summons Gamakichi and Gamatatsu for some fucking reason. Mm-hmm. This is like another like aspect of like original stuff where I guess sometimes Naruto just summons the 2 little toad guys.
Fucking sure, why not?
I just kind of stumble into clues. They find the big kite. And they're like, damn, the samurai probably hung out with this guy on this. They find the fucking like secret passageway. They're just, like again, like it's so like. But it's like not like, oh, they're using their like toad abilities, right? It's just like Naruto has like brought 2 other people and just kind of like bumble into this around the scene until they run into clues.
Yeah.
Like he's even like, oh yeah, you toads can like smell really good, right? You have like super toad scent, and they're like, what are you talking about? Also, yes, but they don't like use that. There's no like specificity to them being here other than they'll just like Gamatatsu just wander around. It's like, whoa, what's this? Like twice.
Yeah.
It's weird. I hope we get arcs that feel like they're using the things that they like pull out with more intentionality.
Yeah, they're just like not playing with toys, right? Like there's like these are characters that like we know these characters can like do cool, like let the characters do the cool things they can do instead of like, I don't know, standard like where Neji's at. Like where Neji's at. Why are you like it's just like someone picked up fucking the Naruto action figures and started playing through a little story, and like the only thing they knew about Neji was that like he had eyes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's just not what I would hope for.
Yeah, it's just not what I would hope for, and it's just like, I don't know, I wonder why that is.
Yeah, I'm very curious. Like I wonder if there are like just like restrictions on it, or if like, I don't know, maybe nobody like was that invested in this. I don't know. Like it's hard to say. Like I'll probably never know. Like I don't think we can like hunt down like the individual like script writers for the stretch of Naruto and be like, hey, why'd you like not write anything interesting? But like that's like maybe like more like dour than me too, because I think there's like bits where I'm like having fun like in like this arc even, right? It's just like
yeah. It's
just like why like it's specifically when they're like doing like the things with the Naruto characters where it's like, why this guy? Like why?
Right. Like the writing for this like stretch of like this like kind of arc, right, is all in the like arc exclusive characters, right? Like the story here is about like Sagi and shit, right? Like
yeah,
that's what's going on, and so like it makes sense that like the Naruto characters aren't like being developed But like, it's weird that they're not even like demonstrating their basic characterization for like who they are as people at this point, right? Like,
yeah. Like, I guess I give them a little more leeway with Ten because it's not like she's ever done anything, so they don't have a lot to pull on. But also but Neji's like one of the guys,
right?
Like, Neji is like prominently in like 2 of the like 4 arcs of Naruto that there were in the manga leading up to this point.
Yeah, like, Neji is a very well-defined character at this point, and they're just, like, not using that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, sorry. We're, like...
No, it's okay. Sometimes we just have, like, talk, like, more broadly about, like, what's going on, and then we can just kind of... Before we, like, move forward with actually talking about, like, the individual events of the show. But anyway, you know, as like, this half of the episode starts to, you know, wind down, we get various things, like, kind of... You know, like things start going badly for the cast this arc. You know, Tishimura like wanders over to like report to Moso about like, oh, it seems like Naruto is like still investigating. I should like tell him. And he like sees Moso like talking to somebody. Like, I really like this bit where he's like looking into the room and there's like nobody like in the room that Moso's talking to, and he like looks up and like all of the ninjas are just sitting on the fucking ceiling for some reason.
Yeah.
They just all glare at him and like fucking throw shuriken through the like paper doors. It's pretty good.
Pretty good. It's like entering like a boss arena in a video game, like in a Zelda game, like when you gotta look up to see the boss, right? Like,
yeah. Oh my god, it is like that. You know, Naruto stumbles across, you know, someone bathing, and instantly both of the fucking toads decide to make as much noise as possible.
Yeah.
I don't know why like Gamakichi is horny now. I don't like it. I don't know why Gamakichi wants to fuck a human woman.
I don't think he does. Like, I think he's just performing masculinity.
Maybe. Hopefully. Regardless, because the toads that he brought out here have decided to like be loud as hell. You know, he gets arrested, goes to fucking straitjacket jail. That's like basically this half of the episode. We want to move on.
Yep.
Okay.
The cursed warrior tries to kill him, but he uses the warrior's blade to free himself from his binds and break their mask with one clean punch. The cursed warrior is Sagi. Sagi explains her position, and shows Naruto the watch that stopped when her father was killed, and the importance of it being passed from father to son. She expresses a desire to kill the one responsible, and then kill herself. A repressed trans girl with a self-destructive drive for vengeance is kind of a sore spot for Naruto right now. He tries to angle Komi's arrest and her responsibility as a feudal lord as a reason to walk back from the edge. This doesn't sway her, and in fact, makes her want to kill Naruto so he doesn't go around saying shit about fuck anymore. Neji and Tenten visit the old feudal lord's tomb, and Neji sees the poison in his body through several layers of stone, and then gets caught off guard by a bunch of guys telling him Naruto's going to be executed.
There's something I like to chunk because so this episode is like storyboarded by Shinji Sato, who I've talked about before, and like who is kind of like one of the few remaining like storyboarders who's like consistently able to like put on like a flair, who are like on the episodes that are like still working on Naruto at this point. Like a lot of the people have kind of like stepped back and won't be back until Shippuden, right?
Yeah.
Like he's still around. Like you know, there's like some like fairly fun bits. Like I talked about with the like I talked about all the like, ninjas sitting on the ceiling when like Tishima like was like overhearing the conversation, and like, you know, you got here where it's like, you know, it's like a reasonably funny idea of like, okay, Naruto is like tied up in his straitjacket and he's trying to like, you know, like dodge the fucking spear and like, you know, get the fucking straitjacket like cut up by the spear to like, you know, break out. Like it's a halberd, right? Sorry. I'm sorry. No,
it's okay.
Like yeah, like it's like a reasonably fun, like, yeah, here's like the basic idea for like a fight scene, you know, it works out all right. It's just like a base level of competence that is like, you know, fun and like isn't something I can always like take for granted at this stage of Naruto. But anyway, you know, Naruto like punches the mask off, recognizes Sagi, starts, you know, we get the vengeance conversation, and like Naruto kind of fucking beefs it here.
Right?
Like, not even just in the sense of like immediately like going at the like, oh, there's like revenge is no good for you, but like specifically like there's this thing going on where like it feels like, because this is like a mystery arc, the characters are regularly just kind of like confused about what's happening in a way that goes beyond like them trying to solve the mystery. Like, it's so weird that at the start of this episode, Naruto's like, obviously Komei wasn't responsible for all of this. This is like so fucking suspicious. I need to like keep digging into this. And now he like has this encounter with Sagi, who is in the fucking cursed warrior outfit. And is like, hey, Komei was arrested, so the problem is solved. And it's like, how did you like work your way with like how did you work your way back around to this?
Right. Also, like, the thing that set her off was, like, specifically bringing up Moso, right?
Yeah.
But then later, she learned for the first time that Moso killed.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no.
I wish they had, like, I wish it felt like they had the facts a little more straight, like, from scene to scene and episode to episode.
Right. Which is why Naruto leveraging her position as the feudal lord as like a responsibility that she has for this scene works so much stronger, which obviously she would be like upset by because you know, with the whole like fucking stopped watch and everything, like the need to carry on from like father to son is like tied into the responsibility of the feudal lord, right? Which is like gender stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And why that would set her off. Anyway, sorry. I'm sorry that they just like wrote the episode bad to not make it like as transgender as it is.
Right, yeah, absolutely. It's a shame that this arc isn't about how transgender this character is, because I think it's like way more compelling than what they're probably trying to do.
Right.
Which I get into like a little bit later, right? But like,
yeah,
like this is definitely an arc where you can like construct your like your trans read that's interesting, and then you can like look at what they're actually trying to do, and it's like weirdly terrified of like breaking any like of like anybody performing gender weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, we cut back over to Neji and Tenten. You know, they've been off screen since like Naruto went off on his own. They're like off at like the they're off like standing outside the fucking tomb of like the feudal lord. And like as you say for some reason, Neji just like, you know, opens his eyes, like fucking looks through several walls, like, oh, there's fucking poison in there. I can see his purple. That means he was poisoned.
Yeah, like Neji could just like see like the status effects that someone died with, I guess.
Right, we talk a lot about them like not letting Neji do the things he should be capable of doing. Like he isn't able to detect the fucking kite that the cursed warrior is hanging off of earlier.
Right.
He's just constantly like missing shit. But he has poison vision now.
Yeah, this is my favorite one. Okay, I love the sequence event so much because he has poison vision, and then also gets snuck up on.
Yeah, by like 50 guys.
Like 50 guys, like 100 dudes, just getting close on him around in like a circle, and all 360 of his degrees of view, he did not catch one man.
There's only like 1 degree he can't see, and like they can't all be hiding in that one.
Yay! Yeah, I mean, like, I don't have anything else to say about this, right? Like,
no, yeah, that's like basically it. It's like very over the top. It's like, all right, you guys have to like leave, or else we'll like try and execute you. And as they start leaving, they just fire like 1,000,000 fucking arrows at like Neji and Tenten.
All right, okay, you ready to move on?
Like that feels like a potential diplomatic issue,
right?
But like it's fine.
Oh my god, it's fine. Yeah,
they're really getting into it.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm ready to move on now, though. Yeah.
Okay. Episode 165: The Death of Naruto. Kakashi meets up with the kids and tells them it's too bad about Naruto, but they need to head home. But they're being observed by Moso's ninja goons, who head back to report it to Moso. Oh hey, it's execute Komei time. Anyway, the cursed warrior shows up and rescues him. The rest of the Leaf Ninja break the sky and chase after them. They catch up at the temple, and Kakashi has to interrupt everyone talking things out to deal with a rock guy. Kakashi explodes him into sand.
Okay, before anything else, I need to talk about the fact that this episode is called The Death of Naruto.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking bullshit. Like, okay, I'm not, like, literally expecting them to kill Naruto, because, like, you can't do that. But, like, I was at least like, be like, oh, we're gonna have like a fake out Naruto death or something. But like, at no point in this episode does anybody even think Naruto died. Like, there's just nothing there. They don't do anything with that.
Yeah.
Like Moso's like, Naruto will probably be dead soon at the beginning of the episode. That's like as close as you get. He like wears like a ghost costume. fucking getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. But that's not the same as dying.
Yeah.
You got to pull the trigger a little bit harder if you're gonna name your episode "The Death of Naruto." That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Right? If if they came back into town and immediately learned that Sagi's estate literally executed Naruto this morning, but it was a fake out.
Right? Yeah. And Neji could be like, "Oh my god, no."
Yeah. But this fucking goes unaddressed anyway.
Anyway. Yeah, so the episode starts with Kakashi and Neji and Tenten are pretending to leave the land of birds,
Mm-hmm.
Are being preceded by the fucking Moso goons. You've got the big guy and the fucking Twinkie guy,
mm-hmm.
who basically doesn't do anything.
Yeah, the Twink does fuck all. The Twink looks at monkeys.
Okay, I'm going fucking crazy about the looking at monkeys thing.
Yeah? Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, okay. So, the thing is, he's, tracking, Kakashi and Neji and Tenten, and, he just sees them, stopping and, sitting in a tree for, an hour or whatever. They're just fucking eating persimmons. And he's like, wait, these are fucking monkeys. He throws knives at them. They turn back into monkeys. But, while the monkeys are, transformed into, Guy and Neji, or not Guy, into Kakashi and Neji and Tenten, they're fucking speaking. They're, they're saying words. The fucking implications of the fact that you could just fucking, turn a monkey into a person they're, fully capable of communicating in human language is, is every animal just, fully sapient in Naruto world? The actual answer is there's probably no real implications meant to be, suggested by this, but it still, drove me crazy a little bit.
Yeah.
I got over to, the place where Kome is going to be executed. Moso is just doing his, yeah, I'm accusing you of all of these fucking crimes, just, extensively, this, yeah, you totally confessed to all of these things, is, Kome is just sitting there completely fucking silently in the middle of the fucking, execution plaza. And he starts fucking laughing, he's like, you motherfucker, you framed me. And Moso is, basically fucking, no I didn't, kill yourself. They're very much standing on fucking tradition and dignity a little bit, but it also feels very petty in a way.
Yeah.
These dudes fucking hate each other. They've hated each other for years.
Literally. Yeah, but then the masked warrior swoops out of the sky.
Yeah. I can get rescues Kome, runs off. Tenten and Kakashi and Guy, who are not Guy. Why do I keep saying Guy? Fuck. Tenten and Kakashi and Neji, who are pretending to be guards, fucking drop their disguises and chase off after it. They catch up to fucking Kome and the cursed warrior, and immediately again are damn it, fucking Kome, I knew you were collaborating with the cursed warrior, and I don't know why we're back here again. You just fucking snuck into this guy's execution, presumably I don't know, break him out, figure out what was up, and I guess this is collaborating with the cursed warrior. What does that fucking matter, right?
Yeah, right.
The fucking scale of what you should care about has completely shifted, but they're still doing this biting at the obvious red herring shit for some reason. But the structure of what a character thinks is going on and is trying to achieve based on the information is just so rickety here.
Yeah, it's all over the place. Yeah, but then Kakashi's all all right, kids.
Okay, just you fucking move on. If I can go through that secret tunnel over there.
Just fucking go talk over there. I have to fight a rock.
Yeah. If I can summon Paku to come out and sniff around and walk up to the rock where the guy's hiding and be hey, I know you're in there. And the guy's you fucking got me.
Fuck. I always knew dogs could smell me.
Yeah. Just very accommodating steps out of the rock.
Yeah.
Is very mean to Pakun, Both flings Pakun up into the sky when Pakun bites his hand, and then Pakun bites all his teeth and he turns into rock.
Right.
Cool. The thing that threw me for a loop is the thing that really threw me for a loop here is when he's doing his jutsu where he becomes part rock, he fucking and it's the official English translation is assimilate all creation or whatever. But he specifically says in the Japanese audio Shinra Bansho, which is it's like a Buddhist idiom, like, you know, roughly means like all creation or whatever. Like it is, like has come to mean that. And like it is like something that like Naruto like much later like in like the manga and everything deploys for like, oh, these are like Pain's big attacks that he does. So it's just like very funny for like, okay, here's this like specific like Buddhist idiom that we're like pulling on for like one of the like big like impactful villains in all of Naruto, right? Like one of the guys who's got like the fucking like most special super eye power, and also this random fucking guy.
Yeah, and also this random fucking guy who, like, I don't know, probably just a coincidence.
No, yeah, definitely just a coincidence, right? Like, definitely it's just like, oh, hey, like somebody thought of like a name for like a jutsu or whatever, and like later, like in the manga, unrelated, like also that same thing was like, you know, pulled from. The specific invocation of like the idiom like retroactively feels like a big idea because the other guy who does it, or like feels like a big deal because the other guy who does it is like such a big deal. But yeah, that was basically all there is to it.
Yeah, and then Kakashi explodes him into sand.
Yeah, if like it gets with a paper tag, he like explodes into pebbles, which is like, hey, you know, seems like a good strat if a guy turns into a rock.
Yeah,
that's the half of the episode, right? Like, do you have anything more you want to say about it?
Nope.
Okay.
The rest of the group make it to Sagi's house via the temple tunnel, and Naruto reveals that he was the cursed warrior this time. Everyone knew about 1010. Anyway, Kakashi picks up his fight with the rebel guy, who starts mimicking a bunch of Gaara's moves. Naruto brings everyone to Sagi, who's taking care of Tsushima after he got. Naruto explains that Tsushima shows up and explained everything, so all of the people are on the same side now, which is cool. Sagi explains her position and is sorry for accidentally implicating Kome, but declares that she is going to do the vengeance thing alone.
God, the thing that fucking kills me about this first scene in this half of the episode is like Naruto taking off the mask and like like Neji's immediately like very smug, like, huh, I knew it. And it's like, motherfucker, of course you did. Like, you fucking should.
You could literally see his dick through the armor. Like
this isn't like something you should brag about. It's like it should literally be embarrassing for you if you did not know this.
Literally, oh my god.
And like to the point, like to like further the point of like it just being weird how confused everybody is about the plot. Like fucking Kobe sees Naruto take off the mask. It's like, what? But I was so sure the fucking cursed warrior was Sagi. And it's like, yeah, man, different guys can wear a costume. Naruto just got here. It wasn't now he's Naruto. Fucking keep up. Come on.
It would be cute if Neji, if like Tenten was like, what? And Neji was just like, oh, you didn't know? Did you not notice?
He kind of is. Like, everybody's got like, oh, Tenten, I can't believe you didn't figure it out. I can't believe you were on top of this or whatever. It's like, be nice.
He's shorter. He's Naruto shaped. He moves like Naruto. Like, I could tell.
Mm.
I could tell right away. I was just like, oh, that was Naruto. Oh my god. Yeah, but now the sand guy is like, I'm doing Gaara moves.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, it's like
this arc with these ninjas are like so fucking funny because they keep like using moves and like every time there's a character nearby that goes like, hey, that's Gaara's thing. Hey, that's Shikamaru's jutsu. Sasuke's fireballs are way stronger than that.
Right. And like, I mean, to that point, like, you know, it's both like, oh, I get how it's like kind of fun. Like, oh, you have Kakashi here and he's the copy ninja and also he's like fighting all these guys who are also like, you know, fucking like trying to like steal everybody else's techniques or whatever. But I feel like I feel like it loses a little bit because like every time somebody's just like, oh, you're doing this way fucking worse.
Right. Like, they're those guys, but like the people who are like doing it for fake, right? They're the ones who are like combining two little tricks to make it look like they're doing the thing instead of actually knowing that jutsu, right? Like that's these guys' gimmick, right? That's the That's the rug pull. Is that they're actually way shittier than if they were just presented normal, which they could have been, frankly.
And it's like it feels like by bringing Kakashi into it, you've like got a guy who's like too big of a deal to be dealing with everybody's like fake bullshit tricks.
Right. Like if they were just like, yeah, no, we've gotten really good at like decoding jutsu and like reinterpreting and like reutilizing them, right? So like we can like we as a people are just like really good at like studying a jutsu after we've seen it and like figuring it out, right? Not in the way that the Sharingan does, but like, you know, and like manually.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's how we make our way. That's how we like explore, because we don't have these like deep ties and we don't have this like history. So we have to like, pick up things and learn. And like it is like that would be interesting and cool for like an anime original villain's like thing to be. Like it would be cool if like they were just that, but like legitimately.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But like instead, like what you're setting up is like the matchup versus like a guy who is like good at a thing, and like a guy who is shitty at doing that same thing.
Right. It's so weird.
Like it's just not like good booking to be like, yeah, here's your opponent, a guy who is worse at everything that you do, a guy who is just a weaker version of yourself, who is like basically just kind of pretending to be able to do what you do.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't have like the super competent guy who could kind of like immediately like see through it and like fucking like pull it apart, like maybe you could also like lean into the fucking like Scooby-Doo tricks fight, right? But like
you don't.
Mm-hmm. Which like, yeah, this is like getting a little bit ahead of ourselves with like some stuff that happened later episodes, but like it's fine, like
yeah, it's cool. Yeah, like literally these guys are using like Scooby-Doo tricks instead of like ninjutsu. Like it's really funny.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I get it. Like I get the gimmick. I get wanting to go with that, but then like also the framing of them having to like steal jutsu from like other stuff is like the like fiction that they are presenting is like in isolation next to the like Scooby-Doo bullshit that they're trying to like do for like the show.
Mm-hmm.
Is like more interesting to see. And it's just like, okay, well, like if they were doing Scooby-Doo bullshit, like there's no reason they had to like present that like alternative fiction. They could be presenting an ninjutsu style that is like more interesting when you consider that it is like Scooby-Doo bullshit on top of it, right?
Yeah,
Like they could have their own distinct style that is Scooby-Doo bullshit.
Right, and it could be like, oh, they're like trying to do something else with like the misdirect of like, this is the jutsu you think you recognize, instead of just like people could keep continually going like, oh, this is fake, and then brushing past it.
Right. I don't know. It's weird.
It's weird.
What even were we talking about?
I don't know. I mean, like, we get to the end of this episode, right? Everybody's like in the same place, fucking. I mean, Kakashi's still fighting the fucking like boulder guy or whatever, right? Yeah. But like, like Tenten and Neji and Kome and like Sagi and Chishima are like all there or whatever. I guess Chishima's like not exactly here. He's off in like a fucking like bed being injured somewhere.
Right.
But like, they finally fucking get everybody on like the same page of what was happening in this arc, so they can like stop like forgetting the things they thought were going on.
Yeah.
Every few seconds, which is like, hey, I guess I'm glad we're finally there. Yeah.
I love that Kakashi like barely needs catching up. I love that like everyone comes out of the thing where like, and Kakashi's just like, I mean, this is a little bit later. I'm getting ahead of myself. Hi.
That's fine.
But like, I love the extent to which Kakashi was like basically just like, had a good idea of what was going on most of the time.
Yeah. Because I think that like positions like this mission like a solid place. Like, yeah, like, this is like something they're sending the Genin to do or whatever, right? Like if they get like a little over their heads, then you can send like Kakashi and they'll be like, yeah, I've got the situation, right? Like that at least, if like part of it at least like works, like in terms of like establishing like the like stakes, right?
Yeah.
They just need to like be better at like striking that balance of being like, okay, like this isn't like the biggest, most dangerous, most important thing, and while also not being like, oh, this is like bullshit and fake, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like we feel like barely straining to like not talk about next episode. So do you want to just get into it?
Yeah. Episode 166. When time stands still. Sagi's whole thing pinches Naruto's Sasuke nerve again, and he starts doing his Naruto barkies at her about it. She isn't receptive to that kind of thing right now, so she collapses her house and escapes. Kakashi kills the sand guy because, like, 60% of his shit was just making it kind of look like he had Gaara powers, and actually it is, like, easy to kill people. The kids and Kome escape back to the temple through the tunnel and catch Kakashi up on what's going on. While suiting up, the feudal lord remembers sobbing over her sister's corpse. Her sister Sagi's corpse. Toki nearly ends her life before being stopped by the spirit of Sagi, who happily hands her the broken watch before fading. Overtaken with grief, Toki disguises herself as her sister's feudal lord persona and vows to take revenge.
Right. So yeah, like you said, like this episode starts with like, you know, Naruto is like angry about all his revenge talk. He's like doing all of his like, he's doing his like Naruto beats. He's like stating his beliefs. He's like, you know,
yeah, Naruto barkies.
He's like remembering Sasuke, and he's like, you gotta, this won't make you happy. And Sagi is like, okay, fuck off. Fucking walks over to the fucking like secret like trick wall. To fucking like spit out of the room and pulls the lever, pulls the fucking like knock my house over lever that she has.
Yeah,
it's just incredible. Like even before the fucking like Scooby-Doo bullshit villains came in here, the fucking like feudal lord of this country was just like building like fucking ridiculous trick buildings everywhere to like facilitate like different Scooby-Doo bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just thinking again about the fucking lever that you pulled to fucking make your house fall over and achieve nothing else. Why do you have it?
Why is that there? I mean, okay. Literally, it is like I am escaping from like a building under siege and there are guys behind me and I am escaping through a tunnel, right? Like you are a feudal lord, like... That is, I don't know. I get the use case. Like, what if some fucking Sekiro shit happens, right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. But, you know, everybody's easily able to escape because they also entered the building through, like, a different secret tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so, you know. That's not really a problem for them.
Yeah, I mean, that place is lousy with secret tunnels.
Meanwhile, Kakashi is fucking killing the, like, the fake sand guy. Yeah, we get a little bit of that guy talking about like, you know, his position of like, I'm like a wandering ninja or whatever. I've got like no like connection or like place to like you know like settle down in and like no like.
I feel like if you're a group of shinobi, right, and you're just like kind of like friendly and helpful to the people around you, I feel like it would be like pretty easy to settle in around a village.
Right, yeah, like, it's like... God, I think about something that happens, like, in the next half of this episode, when we get, like, a fucking flashback to, like, Moso, like, ingratiating himself to the fucking feudal lord of this country. He didn't even need to do anything, he just needed to do, like, a sword-swallowing trick. Yeah. So you're just like, hey, what if we, like, were part of your, like, military force in this, like, small country or whatever, and, like, you, like, I don't know, like, paid us and, like, let us live here. I feel like that would, like, achieve what you're trying to do, like, fucking well enough. Right. Or whatever. But, like, I don't know, maybe there's, like, some complication wherever. Everybody certainly seems to, like, think there is. Everybody certainly seems to think it's, like, a lot harder for them than, like...
Right, and, like, okay. With them doing Scooby-Doo bullshit, it calls into, like, question the, like, competence as shinobi, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, like that is like the inherent like undercurrent of it. Like that is the intended like read of them is like, oh, they are like incompetent shinobi because of this.
Mm-hmm.
Right? As the like comedy fucking charlatan guys. And like that's just not a flattering place to put your like guys with the most agency over like a country's government for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
As like villain guys and have that still be like, oh, there's still going to be like further conflict and stakes with these guys, right?
Yeah.
It just puts it in like a really awkward place where it's just like, okay, but like, yeah, these guys are like weak and shitty and useless. Just fucking like shoot a beam at them already and kill them, right? Like just kill them already. Just do the thing and kill them. Like if Naruto stopped being like pretending to be scared of their Scooby-Doo bullshit and just like did one Rasengan like anywhere, the whole thing would crumble, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's definitely like an arc that gets like so caught up in like fucking preventing Naruto from getting the hit where he like wins,
right?
That it like fails to. It just kind of like winds up being frustrating how little the like villains actually seem able to do when we're spending like 6 episodes on them.
Right, I don't even fucking know what we're talking about anymore. Where were we?
I don't know. We're talking about Kakashi killing that guy.
Yeah, who cares?
Who cares? You want to talk about Sagi and Toki?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'm gonna let you take the lead on this one.
Oh my god, I am so vindicated. I am so vindicated.
Give me your spin on this.
Okay, this is so fucking juicy. Okay. So what happened was, as we all know, Sagi and Toki grew up together, right? They were twins. They're like identical. They are identical twins. And because Sagi was the first one that was born, took on the like responsibilities of like the heir to the title of the feudal lord, right? Like the heir. But they both ended up being trans women. And so at the lake where, you know, Sagi was like mourning, you know, air quotes Sagi was mourning time with her sister, like, you know, that you know, I talked about that like being like an important place to them, and like one of the only places where they could like get away from everybody and like both exist as themselves. In a way that like eventually grew into Toki like being able having the freedom to like pursue being herself in a way that like Sagi at least felt as though she couldn't. But then, when the like thing happened, right? And Sagi was the one that got killed instead of Toki. It was Toki receiving the watch. And I think from Sagi what happened was Sagi was presenting the watch saying like, look, the cycle's broken. You can do what you want. Right, like I think that was the intention behind the like smile and then like the happy and then like, okay, I'm like passing this on to you is like, and like it being broken represents a certain thing, right?
Right, like the cycle of like needing to pass this on from like father to son is like broken, like that doesn't like.
Right. You can continue to live as the person you are and continue to like do the things that you need to do. Right, like that was like the message being presented by the sister that like, you know, had passed on, had broken that cycle. And you know, obviously at this point, Toki is not taking this very well. And decides to take the watch's meaning. It is like then her responsibility to like live up to that expectation, right? Yeah. And like it won't be right until like everything has been like avenged, and then like I think the intent to take her life there is coming from a place of like, okay, like I am detransitioning to do this. I am like that is not like a livable place for me to be, right? And there's like an acceptance of like, okay, like this is going to happen and then my life is over,
right? And I feel like having that kind of like read on it is like so like it's like so much more like compelling to like the way that like this episode's like actually like, you know, engaging with the like gender stuff of like, you know, Toki is pretending to be like her, you know, fucking quote unquote brother, because like the thing that like drives me crazy about this is that like this arc feels like genuinely fucking terrified to like break this like immutable image of like femininity that like Naruto as a whole doesn't care about, because like
right
the detail is like that like fucking like just totally throws me every time I think about it. Is like in the process of like pretending to be like, you know, pretending to be Sagi, she like doesn't even like cut her hair. She just like fucking like wraps it up and like hides it implausibly under her hat. Right. And every time she like takes it off, it just like unfurls ridiculously. And like if we're like doing this, like, oh, we have this like transgender reading, it's like, oh, like here's like this like personal like aesthetic choice that like she's not like willing to let go of, like that she's like clinging to even in the face of like, okay, I'm doing this and I'm like essentially like killing myself by pursuing this or whatever, right? Like,
yeah,
in the face of that, it's like, oh, we can like create this meaning for this, but like outside of that reading, it's like they're fucking scared to be like, oh, don't worry, she's still a girl because her hair is long, which is like, that's not like,
yeah.
Like, Naruto as a whole is not fucking, like, invested in that, like, idea of, like, damn, girls better have long hair or whatever, right? Like, I don't know, like, it's...
Yeah, right, like, literally we already played the girl cuts off hair in a dramatic reasons, like, early in Naruto, right? Like...
Right, and, like, if you want to, like, fucking commit to, like, oh, I'm pretending to be this person, and, like, that thing, what you're doing there, it's, like, more dramatically, like, weighty if she's, like, cutting her hair than if she's just, like, fucking hiding her hair so that, like, nobody like forgets that she's actually a girl because she has long hair. Like in the fucking like next set of and like the next like half of the episode, like at one point she like her helmet gets knocked off, and then like her long hair is revealed, and like the fact that her hair is long is enough to convince like is enough to convince somebody who thought she was dead that like, oh, actually you're the one who's still alive, and not just like, oh wow, Saki was growing out her hair, right? Like it's
right. Oh my god.
So basically your thing is like way better than whatever the fuck they're doing here.
Yeah. I'm glad you think so.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's like, okay, I think that's like kind of fascinating to me about the like way they play this is that like it's like literally two different voice actors when like Toki is pretending to be Sagi and when like
when she drops her voice training.
Right, yeah, and I'm like so surprised by that, right? Like I'm so surprised that they don't just lean into like the ambiguity of like, oh, it's like so common to have like a you know a cool maybe a little bit like emotionally cold like anime boy voiced by like a woman or whatever, and you can just like lean into that ambiguity or whatever, right? It's like so weird that they have like specifically two different voice actors for
yeah.
Because like that winds up being like like that casting decision of like, oh, this character is like a girl. We're like afraid of like fucking like breaking this visual representation of her as a girl. Is like weirdly like paired with the like voice casting decision of like we've given her like two different voice actors that like literally have different genders, right? Like that are literally like, you know,
yeah.
Like I don't know. Who knows what the fuck is up? Is there anything else you want to say about this half of the episode?
No, you want to move on?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Toki, as the masked warrior, swoops in on Moso for a final confrontation, but Moso burns her kite out of the sky. Toki casts off her burning mask and they clash. Moso introduces himself as Hoki, the leader of the Wandering Shinobi, with this political stunt as a ploy to lay down roots for his ninja clan and admits to killing Toki's sister and father. They clash, knocking Toki's helmet off and revealing her true identity. At this point, the gang knows that the guy is mostly a fake, who uses little Genjutsu Scooby-Doo tricks to make it look like he has strong abilities. He manages to distract everyone and slip away with Toki, before leading Naruto into an obvious trap. Okay.
Yeah, so fucking Hoki is just like fucking sitting around in the like the courtyard as you know, Toki drops in the fucking cursed warrior outfit. And he's like, it's great that you came. You know, I could just kill you while you're the feudal lord, but it's not illegal to kill somebody pretending to be the cursed warrior. Which is like, okay, man, sure. Like,
sure,
whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, like at the level where he seems to be like commanding like basically every like ounce of like military force in the country, I feel like it doesn't matter that much if you like. I mean, like, you know, maybe if you kill her, it becomes like a, you know, some of them are like, oh wait, this is a bridge too far. But I feel like, you know.
Yeah, right. I mean, like, at that point, you're already like established as like the guy in charge, and like it becomes like so difficult just because like the hierarchical structure of how everything works. Like, you know, it's like acting against that is like such like a more strenuous thing to do than just like go along with something that don't necessarily agree with. And you know, I think he is like in a pretty strong position, like, you know, power wise, just like go ahead and do whatever the fuck he wants at this point.
But like whatever, you know, his like fucking political position or whatever isn't that like fucking considered or like thought about. It's very like, you know, he like goes back and again we have the scene of him doing his like fucking sword swallowing shit and like Toki's dad being like so impressed. He's like, oh, you need to be one of the most important people in the country, which is like like it's just a fucking carnival trick or whatever. Which like maybe he's not even really doing it because he calls it genjutsu. It's like hard to say.
Right.
It's like hard to say like where the line of him like actually like physically doing a trick and like where he did genjutsu is sometimes.
Also, another layer we need to analyze. Does he even necessarily know what genjutsu means?
God.
Like, does he know about chakra? No, I'm sure he does. He definitely
I'm sure he does. He definitely like he seems like less like he seems like less of a guy who's actually capable of doing things than the guy Kakashi fought, frankly. Right. Like, I don't know why this guy's the leader. Because that guy could at least like turn into a rock. Like that really happened. You know, Pakun actually broke all his teeth out when that guy turned into a rock.
Yeah. It's just instead of like actually being the rock as he like made it look as if he was actually just hiding somewhere else and did like a substitution.
We don't get to play by play on that level. It doesn't matter. But you know, the thing that like I've been like kind of turning over in my head is like you know, when like Hoki talks about like the way like like the wandering ninja or whatever, like they have no home of their own. They're like there's like no place for them in the world. It's like I I feel like I have like two issues with it, right?
Mm.
And the first is that like to me it's like kind of like hard to like actually like place in terms of like okay like what does it mean for like you to not be able to like settle down somewhere because like no hidden village in the fucking world is like older than like 80 years old and like a lot of them are like newer than that. Um, like the balance of like political power into the like setting of Naruto is like oh like ninja clans settle down in like a country and then they like fucking you know they align themselves with that, right? And then like that is just how like
Right.
that's just like the way that the world has like shifted to work. So like being the guy who is
It really comes off as like he is like not he's not a competent enough like shinobi to like pull that off legitimately, so he's having to do schemes about it, right? Like
right, but then like I guess the other thing is like the schemes layer is like it winds up being a little uncomfortable to me as he's like constantly drawing on this like oh I have no home of my own. I like he has a sort of like refugee angle he keeps tugging at, which then like has the uncomfortable kind of xenophobic bent to like oh here's the like outsiders who are gonna like come in and trick you and steal your country, which like also
right.
sucks, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just rough. It's just like a fucking mess.
Yeah.
And like nobody in the like plot is like engaging with it on either of those levels, right? Like fucking when he like explains this shit to Kakashi, Kakashi's like, oh well, that sounds like stupid bullshit or whatever. The fucking the hidden leaf like creates ninjas that like endure anything or whatever, which is like it doesn't. It's like a meaningless response or whatever. It's like a like if we engage like in his like complaints like oh I'm in this like difficult position like seriously, then it's like okay but like Kakashi like nobody in the Hidden Leaf has to like endure that situation because like you are in this like entrenched societal position where you're like extremely important to like one of the most like powerful like geopolitical actors in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we don't take it seriously Kakashi's just saying something meaningless to a guy who like doesn't really like have I don't know. Like it just doesn't work.
It just doesn't work.
And like the fight in this courtyard is so like it's so rough.
It's so rough.
It's like it's just like you know it's combination of like again like you have the Scooby Doo tricks. You have like Hoki like pulling out his fucking projectors to be like oh like there's big dragons here. You have like you know he's like pretending shadow possession is happening because he like you know he like crossed over shadow with like with Toki's and then like you know like secretly wrapped her with wires that he was like puppeting her around with or whatever,
Right. Yeah.
which like
yeah.
seems like a pretty like seems like a pretty like if you can just do that to somebody it seems like a pretty strong technique on its own.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
It's like weird that they act like as soon as they point out that it's like fake Toki's gonna be like oh okay never mind I'm not about to fucking slash my own throat. And then like once it comes out to like an actual like exchange of blows it's just like it just doesn't look good. It's a lot of like characters just kind of like spinning around, a bunch of guys near them like fall over.
Yeah.
Naruto does like Naruto's big attack in this fight is he makes a bunch of clothes and they all like hold their arms out to their sides and like run through a crowd of guys who like instantly like get knocked out.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Like including like one of the only two fucking villain guys who like even has a design. Like is he just done now? Like
I hope so. That'd be so funny.
Rip to fucking that guy like Hozuki or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
Got tricked by monkeys and then like knocked over by like a guy like a child pretending to be an airplane and then died.
Fucking riffing hell.
And then, like the other thing of like the staging of this fight that's like so like Kakashi keeps like immediately recognizing that something is a trick and then like still allowing the situation to like get worse in spite of it, right? Like when the fucking like when like Hoki pretends to like summon a bunch of dragons, Kashi's like immediately like, oh, he didn't summon dragons. There's like a projector somewhere. But like that's still like in spite of that, that still gives like Hoki enough time to like fucking like grab Toki and like run off and like hold her hostage. And it's like why did you do anything, man? Like I know like the reason you didn't do anything is like I don't know, so we can keep the arc going a little longer and like Naruto can have his like confrontation with the antagonist where like wanders off into the fucking painted world or whatever. But as like an action staging thing, it's just like it just feels sloppy. I don't know.
Sad.
Sad.
I don't know. Like, what else is there to say? It's just like the sloppy action scene, and then it's over, right? Like,
yeah, and then we'll wrap it up next week, and then we'll like get started on something else probably. I don't know. But besides that, we have a new ending.
We do have a new ending. I love this one.
Yeah, we get like a puppy ending.
Yeah, we get the puppy ending. Everybody gets in their funny puppy costumes. It's so cute.
Yeah. As long as like nice enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's like kind of eye roll, right? Because like the boys are all in like big baggy like doggy kigurumis, right? And the girls are all in like kind of sexy dog girl costumes. So I think the boys should have been in sexy dog girl costumes too.
If we just get like 5 seconds of the ED like panning over like a slutted up puppy boy Kakashi, like fucking all-time top ED.
All time. No, but Kurenai in the collar was good.
Yeah, it was good. No complaints about Kurenai in the collar. And this is like a lot of the endings. It's like storyboarded and directed by Toshiyuki Suru. Animation directed by Hirofumi Suzuki. Like even if they have like step back from like those two are not like doing any more like episodes proper of the show right now, they're still like around, right? And they're there for the endings. I'm like, everybody gets their puppy costumes. I don't know. There's not a ton to say about it. Ultimately, it's just like it's pretty cute. I don't know. Do you have more you want to say about it?
Nah, I'm good.
Okay, all right. Well,
hey, what are we watching?
Next week, we are watching episodes 167, 168, and 169 of Naruto.
Nice! And if you can't wait, check us out on Patreon. Patreon.com/Konoha Crush. All one word, Konoha Crush. There, for $3 a month, you get access to episodes up to a week early. And for $5, you get access to our bonus show, Narukai Uzumaki. We still have to record the Log Horizon episode. That'll be soon.
We still have to set up a poll for the next show.
That'll
hopefully be up by the time this episode is out.
Woo! And then, hey, while we're on the Patreon, I want to offer a very special shout out to our joining tier patrons, Izzy and wife of the show, Rife. Check out their streams at twitch.tv/Subspace Skater. All one word, Subspace Skater. Also, as like a quick reminder, for like $100, I will draw your Naruto OC for like on the Patreon. Like if you go to our Patreon and like there's like one spot, the Hokage tier, where like you can just like make me draw your Naruto OC. Okay. Speaking of Naruto OCs.
Yeah.
This isn't related, but I stream on Twitch. Hi.
Okay.
You can catch me over at twitch.tv/GuinevereTeef. GuinevereTeef. Stream Zelda. Naruto games and stuff. You know how it goes. You stream too.
Yeah, I stream over at twitch.tv/VerdictVelvet. I'm mostly I just play Fire Emblem once a week, and I'm having a pretty good time with that, working through those games. I'm like closing in on the end of Mystery of the Emblem. Probably like only a couple of streams of that left, and then I'll move on to Genealogy of the Holy War, which I'm excited for.
Woo!
I don't know. Maybe one day I'll stream more often than once a week, but like right now it's kind of the sweet spot for me. So
Hell yeah. Well, hey, thanks for listening. And remember, there is no such thing as filler.